Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
Yes, I am here today, and my microphone works, it looks like. So how about we start a show? Good damn morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel, where, well, 2 down and about 7 to go. The squad is losing another member. That's the title of the show, but that's not all we're going to talk about, but it's one of those things, right? Happy Wednesday, hump day! It is the 7th of August, 2024, and I hope y'all are having a good morning. Mine's adequate, I guess. I did nothing to complain about, nothing to cheer about. Here I am, the one that you love, asking for another day. So let's get the show started, because I'm a little late, so what the heck, let's get it going. Let's say hi to everybody and go. Good morning. First in the chat, Mr. Avocados Diablo gets the bell. Because that's how you do. Yes. And also, good morning, Maddie here, bright and early. Nice to see you, my friend. Good morning, JB. Aaron Meredith. Patty O Furniture. Welcome. Jesse Leon's in the house. Tire. Alexander. The Scourge is here. Good morning, sir. Also, hello to Unacceptable Views and when I'm scrolling down, John Arnott's in the house. Nice to see you. Also, good morning. Number one is in the house, and and Kay is here. Kay, I have to apologize to you. I just my day got away from me. I didn't. I'm going to ask Kay in the chat right now. How did the stream with Hotep Jesus go yesterday? The Grift report. I'm going to go watch it. The replay this after I get done here today. But I hope it went well. Also, good morning, Green Badger Outdoors. My boys' wrestlers' names were P-Dog and Icy Hot. Oh, dog. There you go. I feel honored. I feel honored if that's... Well, that probably had nothing to do with me. But anyway, good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful morning. Let's get going because there's a lot of stuff. There's an extra bunch of special trending topics today, so I want to get to that kind of quick. It's kind of funny though. I came on here. These people are still pushing this couch thing. So have you heard about the couch thing with? Did you hear about the couch thing with JD Vance? Apparently, some outlet made a joke about JD Vance having sex with the couch. He's having intimate relations with the couch, and it's made up BS. But for some reason, all the Walls, Harris, Democrats, lefties, whatever, have run with it and made this their running gag that, oh, JD Vance has sex with couches. Oh, they're going to talk about the couch. And it's a lie. Even Rolling Stone magazine has said this is not something that actually was in his book. This is a lie. But for some reason they keep running with it. And so apparently Tim Walz in his speech yesterday in Philadelphia or wherever they were in Pennsylvania made a joke about he would debate JD Vance, who would get off the couch. So anyway, apparently they're going to keep running with that bullshit. It's funny because this morning I was thinking about this. Y'all remember I used to be a Never Trumper, right? Back in 2016, I was wildly in the Never Trump camp. I was wildly in the Never Hillary camp. I was just hoping a meteor would come down and end it all. And, I changed my mind as I saw Trump actually attempting to implement the policies that he had promised while he was running for president. And I was impressed by that because since I was in the 80s when I never really liked Donald Trump's personality. But, there's certain things that he's done in his life that he's shown kindness to people that for some reason the left seems to forget. And there's also just the fact that despite his personality, despite his personal issues, whatever that he has, he actually attempted to implement the policies that I like to see implemented. Not all of them. I didn't agree with them, everything. I didn't agree with the bump stock ban and stuff like that. But for the most part, he tried to do everything that he said he was going to do. And it's very rare that I've ever seen a politician do that. So I changed my mind about Donald Trump. I'm thinking he's worthy of my support because and also the other part of it too is they've spent so much time just straight up making up BS and projecting their worst or least charitable opinions about Trump based on some crap that's out in the ether. Just stuff that they make up in their head that they say, oh, this is what Donald Trump would do, or this is what Donald Trump is. And it's been interesting how most of it's been bullshit. And I go back to how everybody loved Trump until he ran for president. And I just think it's just fascinating. Now they're doing it with JD Vance. They're making up this thing about, oh, he has intimate relations with couches. He wrote that in his book. It wasn't in his book. It's bullshit. But they keep running with it. So there you go. Yes, balls. Yeah, ball rules. Not balls, ball rules. As in, ball rules all. As in, I was a basketball coach, and this is a Nike shirt. But I get how you might make that mistake there, AD. Good morning, Special Can Acid. I love my couch. Just saying, what? Too much information. Right? All right. What was I talking about? Let's get into some of the trending topics that are happening right now. Now, of course, it is hump day. And it wouldn't be hump day. Let me count how many things I could scroll down the hump day topic on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, before I see some body parts that should not be on the internet, at least the YouTube internet. I'm scrolling down. Okay, she's fully clothed, but she's certainly showing off some hump there. Let's see. Okay. There we go. Okay, it only took about 9. But anyway, let me just show you the top hump day post on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, because I like the top hump day post that I can show you on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, and that would be this one, and I'll pause it here for a second. So here we have this gentleman here riding looks like a mobility scooter, and looks like he's going to try to attempt to, is that a guy? Yeah, it's a man, attempting to ride up a seemingly incline here. So let's watch this man, and on hump day, because he's going to ride this mobility scooter over a hump. Let's see what happens when he rides the mobility scooter over the hump. There he goes, Andy. Oh, no. No. That hurt my back. Okay, I'm not going to play it again because we don't want to exploit people on the internet for their foibles. So I'm just not going to play it again. Oh, wait, what did I have? What happened there? I accidentally hit play. Oh, my gosh, here he goes again. Oh, never mind. Okay, there you go. Yeah, that was a little bit too steep of a ramp. All right, let's move on because that's stop playing that. Okay, there we go. All right, let's see, other trends. Well, happy hump day is trending. I don't need to do happy hump day. But here, actually, today is an important day. What did I say? Actually, today is important today. I sound like Joe Biden. Actually, it is an important day. Today is Purple Heart Day. Okay, Purple Heart Day is when we, honor and remember the people who sacrificed, life and limb for our country. So the Vietnam War 50th, I don't know what that is, but it says, on this Purple Heart Day, we salute and honor our nation's combat wounded service members. Thank you for your service, dedication, and sacrifice. It's a great message. Oops, there we go. Also, somebody here, it's called Home for Our Troops. Today on National Purple Heart Day, we pause to remember and honor the brave men and women who were either wounded on the battlefield or paid the ultimate sacrifice. We want all Purple Heart recipients to know they will never be forgotten by the American people. So that is another great sentiment. I appreciate that. The Department of Defense puts one out also. The Purple Heart Medal was created to recognize the brave men and women wounded or killed while serving our nation. Today we pause and acknowledge their courage and sacrifice. Thank you, Purple Heart Day. So then, and it's several posts, and all the posts I've seen about this today have been respectable. If you have a Purple Heart, see a doctor. Well, I got you. Okay. Come on, man. Good morning, bookworm addict. Welcome to the show. I said Special Can Acid, so I got you covered there. So anyway, it is Purple Heart today. Whether a veteran has a Purple Heart or not, or as we earned a Purple Heart, we should respect our veterans, and we'll tie this into the current election year in a minute. David Hogg is trending. David Hogg, the young man who was not present during a mass pew pew event at his high school, but has certainly banked greatly off of that event, getting himself into Harvard with barely a 3-point grade point average and crappy SAT scores. But still, they invited him to come be a Harvard human being. And Cryptic and Cannon, Tepper in the house. How are you doing? Anyway, David Hogg is trending, and you might find it funny why David Hogg is trending. Because of this post here, David Hogg says, ask yourself Imagine you are stuck on the side of the road with a blown tire. Who do you want to show up? Tim Walz or JD Vance? Now, my first thought when I read this question was, well, I don't care because I can change my own tires. David, are you telling us that you do not know how to change a tire on your vehicle? And then my second thought was, well, I don't, if someone stopped by to help, I'd appreciate either one. JD Vance was a friggin' United States Marine. I'm pretty sure that he could help you change a tire. And I'm pretty sure Tim Walz, who's been, he's a teacher and whatever, I'm sure he's 60 years old. People who are 60, Gen X and the last boomers like me, or even boomers, all know how to change tires, you twit. So it doesn't really friggin' matter. What's Walz going to do? Let me use... No, I'm sure Walz is a handy guy. Look, despite the fact that he's a liberal nut job, Tim Walz is still Gen X / last boomer. He and I are the same age. Everyone our age knows how to change a fucking tire. Okay? So David Hogg, this little pinhead, probably does not. So there you go. Shut the fuck up, David Hogg. That's enough about him. But he's trending because people are making fun of him. Should I show you the people making fun of him? Let's see here. Let's look at a few people making fun of David Hogg, because that is what we do. And again, hi Cryptic and hi Cannon Hotep, aka Cannon Speaks. Oh, and let me pin the right. Streamlabs link. I gotta call Streamlabs or something, because they will not fix this for me. I need them to fix it. The old tip jar link is incorrect, so I'll pin the right one up the top there. There we go. All right, so let's see if some people are making fun of David Hogg for this nonsense. Let's start with Cat Turd. Now, if you have someone named Cat Turd making fun of you, you got issues. Cat Turd says David Hogg doesn't know how to change a tire. Okay, enough of that shit. And someone here says, we don't talk enough about how David Hogg stepped on the corpses of his deceased classmates to achieve his status as a disgusting grifter. Survey says... Oh my God. Again, why is that not working right? Well, first of all, let me say thank you, Avocados Diabli. Thank you, Avocados Diabli. By the way, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, sir. You just beat Cryptic. Oh, Cryptic was here for... Okay, well, it's Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Here, let me fix this nonsense, because this is not the right... I don't know how to fix this. I want to make it work. I want to make it work correctly, and it's killing me. Let me but actually Cryptic's worked just fine. I don't understand. I don't understand why it did that. All right, let's try this one more time. Uno, dos, tres. There you go. That's not. Why is that not working? Anyway, thank you, Avocados Diabli says, Tim Walz is not going to change your tire, but he will arrest you and take it away for refusing to let it transition to a flat. Okay, there you go. That is 100% true. He will, if you don't allow your tire to transition, you're going to jail, bitch. Also, thank you, Cryptic, for dropping a deuce in the tip jar. I will be cleaning that up later. It says, JD Vance is a fellow devil dog. We bite hogs. Yes, there you go. Thank you, Cryptic. All right, so there you go. Thank you for sponsoring the show, guys. If you want to sponsor the show, please hit that link at the top of the chat there. It's called the sponsor link. You could be the superstar sponsor of the day if you go through Streamlabs, or also YouTube Super Chats are just fine. Venmo, Cash App, those are all in the description. Whatever you want to do. I appreciate you helping us out. Good morning, Balin Bobby. Nice to see you. All right, let's get back to the trending topics. We've got through Purple Heart, David Hogg. Oh, Ben Stiller is trending. Now, Ben Stiller is trending, and this is a short clip, so I can play it. Ben Stiller made an interesting comment here, and I think maybe some of you have already seen this, but I'm not sure if he's been listening to Joe Biden. I don't know what he's thinking. But here, let's listen to Ben Stiller and talk about his excitement for the Kamala Harris presidential ticket.
I just want to let you know I'm going to match your $150,000 donation.
Oh,
everybody's got to get out and vote.
Now,
and donate.
150? Wait! $150,000 donation to what? I'm curious. Because I thought for sure. Good morning. Oh, I see someone else here. I thought for sure that there's a campaign, like finance limits to donate to presidential campaigns, or is he just going to donate it to some super PAC where you can have unlimited donations? But anyway, here we go.
And she's also an historic candidate. You know, it's going to be the first woman president.
Why? Why is that important to you? I don't know. Look, yes, great. If she happens to become president, she'll be the first woman president. Big deal. Or is it? Do I care? Is that a reason to vote for her? Is that the only reason you have to vote for her? If that is the only reason you have to vote for Kamala Harris, you're an idiot. You are an idiot. But that's not the best part of this thing. Here we go. Listen.
And that's incredibly exciting. And, you know,
exciting.
She's Indian. She's black.
Oh, there's two more reasons. Those are great policy. Wait, that's not policy. What the fuck does that mean? Oh, she's Indian. She's black. Okay. Ben, why is that important to you? Hold on. I'm going to go back because you got to hear this shit.
And that's incredibly exciting. And, you know, she's Indian. She's black. She's everything. You can be more than one thing. It's incredible. You know, I'm Jewish and Irish.
Okay.
I wish I was black.
What? What? What the fuck did you just say?
Jewish and Irish. I wish I was black. Every white Jewish guy wishes he was black. You know, it's just get out there and vote and donate and like take advantage.
Shut up. Ben Stiller isn't black? What? Ben Stiller's not black? What are you talking about? How the hell? I thought. Okay. I don't know. Oh, fuck these celebrities. And not just the ones on their side. Fuck the celebrities on our side, too. Real quick, thank you, JB, dropping a 5 Canadian in the chat, and who says, never go full retard from Tropic Thunder. Yeah, Ben Stiller has definitely gone full retard. I wish I was black. Maybe you should have played that character in Tropic Thunder instead of, what's the other dude? The drug addict guy. That's Iron Man, whatever his name is. Anyway, that's why Ben Stiller's trending. Moving on. Also, by the way, we just found out that Elon Musk will be interviewing Donald Trump on an X Spaces. So Donald Trump is going to make an appearance on X. Now that's amazing because he hasn't really done anything with his X account, formerly known as Twitter account. But here it is. Elon Musk has confirmed that he will be interviewing former President Donald Trump on Monday, August 12th via X Spaces, a feature on the social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter. They made a typo there. The interview is expected to be a major event on the platform, potentially attracting a large audience and generating a substantial engagement. Various news outlets and social media users have been discussing and sharing the announcement, with many expressing anticipation for the event. Now, I'm curious. He's Irish? They're white niggas? Yes, Cannon. Ben Stiller is Irish. I'm half Irish too, right? So I am, half Irish, half Nigerian. I am full on, brother. I can get reparations for both sides of my family. Anyway, Elon Musk is so anyway. People are talking about this now. Here's what I hope. I would love to see something that is parallel to this, as in Elon Musk also interviewing Kamala Harris. But you know that ain't happening. Anyway, so breaking: Elon Musk has just confirmed Donald Trump interview on Monday will be on X Spaces. A lot of people posting that. Even Donald Trump says on Monday night, I'll be doing a major interview with Elon Musk. He's an interesting man. He's tremendous. It'll be a tremendous interview. It'll be the best interview. It'll be an excellent interview with Elon Musk. So anyway, there you go. I think he should invite Kamala Harris to do the same. Now, what are the chances that Kamala Harris would do an interview with Elon Musk on X Spaces? No, because then she'd have to talk and actually answer questions and shit, and she doesn't do that shit. She didn't do that. By the way, I haven't said thank you to some people yet. Let me do these quick thank yous on X, the app, formerly known as Twitter. Why is that doing that? Thank you so much to Somnambule Nation, Scribe Light, and who's this? Oh, Banks. Yes, Robert Banks. Thank you for tweeting out the show. I appreciate you. Are you watching, Banks? Are you here? I kind of hope you are. Good morning, Silver, by the way, and Balin Bobby. I don't know if I said hi to you yet, Balin Bobby. And Silver, I did mean to miss you there. All right, let's continue on the trending topics. I got to get through these a little faster because I gotta. Well, I wanted to talk about the Harris Waltz thing anyway a little bit today, even though it's probably the biggest thing on everyone's mind. That is trending. Harris Waltz and Waltz 2024 hashtag is trending. Now, it's interesting. Someone says straight up commies here. Here's the first thing under that hashtag, and that is a Newsmax. It's a Newsmax compilation of Tim Walz things. And Tim Walz, oh my God, there's problems. There are so many. Look, he's my governor. You know who the best person to ask about Tim Walz on either YouTube or X or whatever is A.K. Kamara. He's one of the Republican delegates to the National Convention. He did a video yesterday, just bullet point after bullet point of why Tim Walz is a piece of crap. And so, if you don't know who A.K. Kamara is, I'm going to try to have him on the show sometime soon. We'll talk with him. But anyway, here is let's look at the Newsmax video here of apparently Tim Walz issues that maybe are a little problematic. Here we go.
In her first decision as the presidential nominee for the Democrat Party, that no one voted for, by the way.
Oh, this was
the guy she chose to be by her side.
Tim Walz
the day after the single largest trading loss on the stock market for a day. This is the guy she chooses?
Don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness. Just do the damn work.
By the way, we'll get into some quotes later. Let's just
socialism. You have got to be kidding me.
Okay, now here's the thing. I know what Tim Walz was saying there. Okay, because we on the right have the tendency to call everything socialism. I don't think he was necessarily. He was. Okay, AK was on the stream too yesterday. Yeah, he knows his stuff. He wasn't in that phrase. He wasn't advocating for socialism, so to speak, right? But what he was saying is that what they would call socialism, as in us, the conservative side, he would call neighborliness. Now, that doesn't mean that a lot of the things that Tim Walz pushed for are not socialism. And again, socialism works great on a small scale, aka your family, or maybe you and your extended family, or if you decide to go out in a commune and everyone agrees to contribute to the work, then yeah, that type of socialism, sure, that works. But socialism has never worked on a large scale. You cannot force people to be equitable. There's no such thing as equity, okay? There are people who want this, and there are people who want this, and there are people who are willing to do this, this, and this, and there are people who are not willing to do this, this, and this, and there's no such thing as everyone just being equal. People have different desires, different dreams, different motives, different levels of ability, different motivations, and some have no motivation at all. And the people with no motivation or do nothing often get kicked out of that commune or that socialist body that you put together. Okay? If you're not contributing, you often just get kicked out, and then you're on your own. So, but I know what Walls was saying, but what he doesn't understand is most of the stuff that he pushes for are going towards that socialism that he calls neighborliness, whatever. So anyway, let's continue this.
Kamala Harris, due to the seemingly anti-Semitic Democrat base, she passed over.
All right, because Josh Shapiro, remember, the people in... Why did she have her first rally announcing her vice president in Pennsylvania? Well, it wasn't because she was going to pick Tim Walz. The people in Philadelphia, the mayor of Philadelphia, leaked something that said Josh Shapiro was going to be it. And the blowback for her having a Jew, I think, might have been a little too much. And so she nixed Josh Shapiro. Why would you announce Tim Walz is going to be your vice presidential pick in Pennsylvania? Wouldn't you do it in his state where he's beloved? Not so much. Although he is a two-term governor, but I think his, let's just say that his luster has worn quite a bit in this state. And I'll tell you what, I can't name anyone. Well, I don't know everyone in the state, but I know that most of the people outside of the Twin Cities cannot stand Tim Walz. And I don't know if he would have made another term anyway. So anyway, here we go.
I think was a more viable national candidate in Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, in her first
Because he's not
decision.
insane. Because Josh Shapiro is also a little bit too actually moderate, whereas Tim Walz comes off as a moderate, but is radically left. It's embarrassing. Good morning, Anon. 1, 2, 3.
He chose this guy, the guy who was down on his knees at the George Floyd riots, Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, supporting the drug addict criminal resisting arrest.
Look, I don't care about that. If that's not the worst thing, look, at the time, that was not the worst thing the governor could do. But he did some other shit at the time that you really got to go, Anyway.
Writing Justice Now in his own special chalk in a face mask, while doing nothing for the actual law-abiding citizens that had their businesses burned down by these riots in his state. Tim Walz, the Minnesota governor, refused to activate the National Guard to quell these riots, and this guy wants to represent the entire country? No, thank you. This is Minneapolis before the riots, as you can see right there. And this is after the riots. Before the riots, after. I mean, like.
Okay, that's okay. I'm gonna turn this off because this is obviously an editorial. But as you go down this Harris Walz thing, now this is this is funny too. So I went as I'm scrolling through X this morning before the show. This is kind of wild. And I'm gonna first I'll read you what this woman says, and then I'm gonna show you this TikTok that she hosts, and then I have some commentary on this. So this woman Kate Samuels says, Governor Tim Walz, this woman, she absolutely nails what it is about Tim Walz that makes him a fantastic choice. Like this creator, my Trump cult drove a wedge between me and my father. Someone with daddy issues has something to say. Here's the post that she is touting.
So Tim Walz was selected as the VP pick, and I've been predicting this for weeks, but let me tell you why it's making me really emotional.
Why?
After getting to know Tim Walz for the last few weeks, I have...
Getting to know him? How'd you get to know him the last few weeks? Who? How? What? Okay, just curious about that one.
...realized something, and it's very profound. He represents the dad that a lot of liberal women lost. A lot of us had moderate to conservative,
so you have daddy
educated,
issues.
sensible fathers that we lost.
Interesting. So you're saying that conservative fathers can't be sensible.
Lost to Rush Limbaugh. That we lost.
Lost to Rush Limbaugh. So the ones who kept a home, a roof over your head, and made sure you ate enough so that you could be. I'm not going to be. I can't judge her on her weight, but anyway, you know what I'm saying.
That we lost to Donald Trump and the cult.
The vids are echoing. Are they? Okay. I did not. Okay, here we go again. Settings I was playing around with yesterday. Oh, here we go. This is why. Let's try that. I bet this should fix the problem. Let me find out. Tell me if it does.
Of conservatism that has grown and grown and grown has driven a wedge between millennial women and her fathers. My father is the type of man that will put Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders on the TV, but will never allow a woman in power to be on the television.
Really? Really? Your dad will put the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders on the television, but never let a woman be in power. Apparently, your dad's not married. So that fixed the problem? I'm guessing it did. Okay.
Father will never, ever vote for a female president. All those times I make TikToks speaking out about anti-racism.
No. Your father absolutely would vote for a female president, but not Kamala Harris. Your dad is conservative. Why would he vote for Kamala Harris? If Ann Coulter were running for president, would your dad vote for a female president? I bet he would. Shut the fuck up.
Racism, the Buford Bonnet Company, the old
Wait.
All those times I make TikToks speaking out about anti-racism, the Buford Bonnet Company, the Old South Party.
Wait. Every time you talk about on TikTok, talk about anti-racism, something South Party.
Bama Rush, the weird vibes I got at the Savannah Bananas game. I get thousands and thousands and thousands of comments about how being a liberal white woman is the worst thing that someone can be.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Now and then I'll get a comment from someone that said, I bet your dad doesn't even love you. And even though I know my dad.
No, I bet her dad loves her because conservative dads still love their children unconditionally. Now, they may disagree with what they talk about and what they do, but doesn't mean that we don't love them. This kind of hits home with me because I'm a conservative dad, and I'm pretty sure my kids still love me, and my kids have grown up and become very productive people in the world, and are great human beings. And I'm the same age as Tim Walz. I have a daughter and a son, and my daughter is a well-adjusted human being. My son's a well-adjusted human being. You just project. Again, this is one of those things they do. They project their worst thoughts on people who disagree with them politically. That's what they do. And look, I'm sorry that you couldn't figure out a way to have you and your dad to agree on politics. It's not unusual that people in a generation ahead of you, the people that bore you, don't have the same ideas as you. But I bet after about 10, 15 years, when you are actually part of the real world, maybe you will start understand why some of those views change over time. When you're young, you're too dumb to know anything. And then as you actually have to have responsibility, some of your opinions change. And some don't. They don't have to. But it doesn't have anything to do with whether or not your father loved you or not. Now, the people saying that your father probably didn't love you, well, they're just being jerks on the internet. Get over it.
Dad loves me in the only way that he can. I know that my dad feels the exact same way as all those other weird men in my comments.
Oh, weird. She threw in the word weird. That's a talking point.
Seeing that he was an educated conservative that saw the party getting weird.
Oh, no. Tim Wall was not an educated conservative. And again, she's echoing talking points, so this is going to make it out in the real world. Good morning, Lunatic and K-Shul.
Shifted his mindset, and now he's this altruistic character.
Altruistic, my ass. He's a full-blown left-wing nut. Liberal policy, use your political capital as fast as you can. Well, guess what? That's not a good thing necessarily. Anyway.
Does the slingshot with his daughter at the fair.
Big deal. I rode roller coaster with both my kids for 7 hours at at Cedar Point one year. Big deal. I took my kids to the state fair. We rode rides together. Oh, wow. He rode rides with his daughter. Holy shit. Big deal. You don't think any conservative parents took their kids to Disneyland? You're a dummy.
And normal and kind.
And you know what? You don't know kindness. My wife is one of the most kind people I've ever met. You're projecting something else. Maybe your dad wasn't kind. It had nothing to do with his politics. Zero, nada, zilch.
He has empathy. He represents all of those qualities that were stripped away from my normal father.
Oh, my.
And it makes me sad to see him. Because I think, what kind of person would my dad have been if he didn't fall victim to this nightmare?
Oh, my God. Again, you sound like you have other issues, young lady. And I feel bad for you that you have put everything in your life into a political bubble perspective. Okay, you need to stop. Anyway, there's all kinds of stuff. Also, by the way, another thing that's trending regarding everything has to do with walls today. Tampon Timmy is trending. Wait, what happened to it? Oh no, I might have. Did I get rid of Tampon Timmy? I thought that was so funny. What happened to Tampon Timmy? Oh, I see. I pushed things way down because there's a whole bunch of other things. So anyway, Tampon Timmy is trending. Now, if you don't know why Tampon Timmy is trending, it's because Tim Walz passed or signed legislation in the state of Minnesota that would require all schools to provide tampons to students fourth grade and up in both the girls and the boys' bathrooms. Yes, you need to have tampons in boys' bathrooms because that's not weird. Now here's Hannity talking about this, that they're calling him Tampon Timmy. I think this is a quick thing here. Here it is. Now, and I'm not a fan of Hannity either. I think Hannity's kind of an asshole, but whatever. Here's Hannity.
They're calling him tonight Tampon Tim.
Tampon Tim.
They're calling him tonight Tampon Tim.
So anyway, here's someone has a message for Tim Walz, Tampon Tim. This is another Minnesotan, kind of like myself. Here it is.
I won't forget when you illegally banned physicians from prescribing medications for early treatment, fracturing the doctor-patient relationship.
I will never forget being forced out of my job at the VA of 20 years because of the vaccine mandates.
I won't forget when you decided which businesses were essential and which ones weren't.
That's when. By the way, that one.
Zoos.
You talked to outstate Minnesotans about Tim Walz, and that pissed them off the most. And it's funny because in 2020, we went out to a friend's cabin. My son and a bunch of his friends always used to go to the same cabin every year over the 4th of July weekend. And it was during mask mandates and whatever. And it's out in northwest Minnesota, up, in some lake country stuff. And nobody up there was wearing masks. Nobody gave a shit about what Tim Walz said they had to do. The sheriffs were not enforcing it. But they did enforce what some of the mandates as far as businesses shutting down. And you could only they decided what the essential businesses were. Well, to me, an essential business is whatever business you're doing that helps you keep your family fed, right? But, oh my God, the people out of outstate Minnesota, absolutely hate Tim Walz for that, all that COVID bullshit.
Were essential and which ones weren't.
You shut down stores, malls, zoos, everything, and we couldn't even go outside.
The idea that you couldn't go outside during COVID was kind of crazy. What up, Trippy Liberty? What's up, my brother? How you doing?
Remember when you sent COVID positive patients back to the nursing home?
And they said, this is another state, like in New York, they were sending COVID positive patients to nursing homes, and it caused a lot of problems. This is also, well, I didn't hear about this morning. If you listen to Ranting Monkey this morning, they also had a bill. It used to be if in an abortion situation, the baby that they tried to remove came out alive, you had an obligation to attempt to help that baby survive, right? And the Minnesota legislature changed that law to you only have to keep it comfortable until it dies. Now, I hadn't even heard about this as much because I don't pay attention to that particular issue that much. But there have been 5 cases in which that actually happened where since they passed that legislation, they had an abortion that was a little bit later and not super late in term, but in later in terms. Babies came out alive. Now 2, they said they weren't viable. 1 had some birth defects, and 2 others they just let die because that's the law now. Which is, look, it's not my big issue, but that's gruesome to me. That is completely and utter gruesome. And then the bill was to hide the number. Yeah, okay, I'm reading it here. AD says the bill was to hide the number of born alive abortions. No, that was before the bill. They no longer count. Oh, they don't count them anymore. Yeah, so they now they can no longer record when that happens. And why is that? Because if people knew that was happening, they'd probably think, okay, that's a little too. I support the right to choose, but that's going a little too far. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, here's more. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what. I'm not gonna play this whole thing because I want to move on. But I'll put a separate link for this one. Minnesotans. Wait, maybe here we go. Minnesotans. Not happy with Tim Walz. That'll be in the link right there. There we go. All right. Okay, so, but yeah, Tampon Tim has become his nickname now, at least in some circles. Totally spontaneous call from, here's another one of these calls. Remember we showed when Kamala Harris supposedly was talking to Barack Obama and Michelle Obama? Remember that fake ass call that they put out there? Well, apparently fake ass calls are going to be the campaign style of Kamala Harris. So here's the fake ass call of Kamala Harris asking Tim Walz, who just was out doing some yard work. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. He's dressed like a normal guy in the den ready to watch some football. Look at this fake ass shit.
Tim. It's Kamala Harris. Good morning, Governor.
Now, wait a minute. How did they just happen to have a camera in whatever room that is at Tim's house? What the fuck is that? Do you just have cameras following you all around, Governor Walz?
Good morning, Madam Vice President.
Listen, I want you to do this with me. Let's do this together. Would you be my running mate and let's get this thing on the road?
Can you take me to prom?
I wowould be honored, Madam Vice President.
The joy that you're bringing back.
Oh my gosh, they even had both sides playing this perfectly. How is it that there's a clock in the background, he's got some wicker furniture, he's dressed like he's about to go, tend to the garden or, go hunting or something.
The enthusiasm that's out there.
And he had a speech ready too. Listen, he had a speech ready.
The joy that you're bringing back to the country, the enthusiasm.
The joy, yes. By the way, that's a theme too. The Krassensteins kind of let that go this morning. Yeah, their theme is that these are joyous, happy people, and they don't have any policies, but they're smiling and they're happy and they're positive, and that's why you should vote for them. I still want to see some policy statements. Here we go.
It'll be a privilege to take this with you across the country.
Oh,
well, let me tell you, I have just the utmost respect for you.
Wait a minute, you're not out in these streets? What are you talking about? Oh, that was the Taraj call. Never mind. Why is she so big on these fake phone calls? I'm still trying to figure that out. Like trying to be authentic and shit. You are so inauthentic. It's embarrassing.
We enjoyed our work together. You understand our country. You have dedicated yourself to our country.
You've dedicated yourself to left-wing causes.
We're going to do this. We're going to win. And we're going to unify our country and remind everyone.
She's reading a script right there. You notice that? She's not talking to anybody. She's reading the script off her phone.
everyone that we are fighting for the future for everyone.
Because she can't make this coherent of a statement without a script.
So let's get out there and get this done, okay?
Let's do it. Do the work in front of us. Let's win this thing.
That's right.
Such
all right,
a
buddy,
perfect,
I'll see you soon.
just
Take
a perfect
care.
response.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Bye.
Oh, yes, I'm so inspired. I am inspired by fake phone calls. Okay. You know, what's sad is unfortunately, there's a lot of people who just believe all of this shit. And it's almost a little bit depressing. So anyway, oh yeah, this is funny because Tim, during this rally in Pennsylvania, he went to shake his wife's hand. And now then they're like, oh, don't hug me, you dumbass. So anyway, and Tim is the literally signed a bill to put tampons in boys' bathrooms. Is this it here? Let's see here.
You know it, you feel it. These guys are creepy, and yes, just weird as hell. That's what you see.
And you put tampons in boys' bathrooms in Minnesota. That's not weird at all. Hello, Linda Hunter. All right, moving on. Now, a lot of the trending topics today have to do with Tim Walz. For example, there's that video of the Minnesota residents. Here's some things that are interesting that are going on Twitter right now. Tim Walz advocates for in vitro fertilization rights. Now, there's a reason this subject is fascinating to me, but let's read it. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz shared his personal experience with in vitro fertilization at a rally, highlighting the emotional journey and importance of reproductive rights. His story resonated with many individuals and families who have also faced fertility challenges. The discussion emphasized the need for accessibility to IVF and the protection of reproductive rights, especially in light of political debates and potential restrictions on such treatments. What? I have, and this goes on and on about, oh yeah, the Dobbs is this and that, blah, blah, blah. And what they're insinuating, and I'll show you down here, right here. Christopher Webb, whoever this jagoff is, says Governor Tim Walz and his wife Gwen struggled for years to have a baby, but couldn't. They were finally able to conceive their daughter through IVF, so they named her Hope. Oh, that's sweet. And that's actually kind of sweet. I'm not knocking that at all. And then it goes on to say, hope is what Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are trying to steal from millions of Americans by banning IVF, in vitro fertilization. Now, I would like somebody, anybody, everybody, to show me specifically where in Donald Trump's policy positions that he takes a stance against in vitro fertilization. No, IVF. Where in Donald Trump's policy platform does he take a stance against in vitro fertilization? In fact, give me the entire Republican Party platform where they say Donald Trump or the Republican Party wants to ban in vitro fertilization. Now, there are a few people out there, they're just weird about it, whatever, but as a party or even as Donald Trump's platform, it doesn't exist. This is one of those things they try to project on their opponent that is 100% false, and they do this with Donald Trump all the fucking time. It's not there. You will not find it. Now, they will show you, they'll say, Project 2025, where they mention it somewhere in page 600 or something. Project 25 is not Donald Trump's policy platform. It is not. It's insane that they keep trying to do this shit. Okay? Other things trending. Also, Waltz on political capital use. So this is kind of a scary thing that, in a way, some people are praising it and some people are like, yeah, because you're a left-wing lunatic. So he has this quote, Tim Walz, the newly announced Democratic vice presidential nominee, has been praised for his approach to politics. Yes, because they used a one-vote majority in one of the Minnesota chambers to pass all sorts of crazy shit, emphasizing the importance of using political capital to improve lives rather than preserving it for future elections. His quote, You don't win elections to bank political capital. You win elections to burn political capital and improve lives. And it apparently has resonated with many of these people. People like Nina Turner, who's, I respect her tenacity as a person on the left, but she's out there too. Right now, Minnesota's showing the country you don't win elections by banking political capital. You win elections to burn political capital. Well, he has burned all of his political capital in this state. Okay? He has burned vast majority of it. And the people who are praising this are Nina Turner, Lawrence Tribe, who else? It's a who's who of leftists. And they're like, oh yeah, get a majority, get a 1-vote majority, and we're gonna change the world. What did Barack Obama used to call it? We're gonna transform something about America or whatever. So that's another thing trending. Also, he challenged J.D. Vance to a debate. Tim Walz, the Democratic vice president nominee, expressed eagerness to debate his Republican counterpart, J.D. Vance, in a campaign event, humorously suggesting that Vance should get off the couch to participate. Oh! Oh, the couch joke. Isn't that cute? The bullshit couch joke. Okay, we know that you are just idiots. In fact, Posobiec, Tim Walz just falsely claimed J.D. Vance had sex with the couch in his acceptance speech. These are the decency people. Spare me, motherfucker. I embellished on what he said there. That's how you want to roll? Fine. Game on. You want to talk about who people had sex with in the past? The 28-year-old Kamala Harris and the 60-year-old mayor of San Francisco. Iraq is trending because Tim Walz has some stolen valor. Here's some things you don't want trending when you are the nominee for vice president of the United States. Stolen valor. Do you want that trending and attributed to your name? And that's because apparently his unit, his military unit was supposed to be deployed to Iraq, and that's when he quit his unit somehow. If Tim Walz actually had his rank reduced from CSM to MSG, as the document here states, and he's still running around publicly saying he's a retired CSM, then that's legitimately stolen valor. That's simply, there's no other way to say it's true. So let's see this. Let's see what this is. No, too long, 5 minutes long. Here it is. Here it is. Here is Walz committing actual stolen valor, saying that he went to war. Okay, this is Tim Walz saying he went to war, and then we'll get the facts on this. Here we go.
Hope woke up like many of you did 5 weeks ago and said, Dad, you're the only person I know who's in elected office. You need to stop what's happening with this. I'll take my kick in the butt for the NRA. I spent 25 years in the Army and I hunt. And I gave the money back, and I'll tell you what I have been doing. I've been voting for common sense legislation that protects the Second Amendment, but we can do background checks. We can do CDC research. We can make sure we don't have reciprocal carry among states, and we can make sure that those weapons of war that I carried in war is the only place where those...
The weapons of war that I carried in war? I'm sorry, what? Were you deployed, Tim? Did he say that? Listen to this.
Those weapons of war that I carried in war is the only place where those weapons are at.
Well, it's funny, too. None of the weapons that he's advocating bans on have ever been issued to any military in the United States of America. What are you talking about, those weapons of war that you carried in war? You've never been in a war. And in fact, a pistol's a weapon of war. What are you talking about, you moron? But anyway, no, there's not a single AR-15 or anything of the similar platform that is issued to military people. Because you know what? None of those weapons will burst fire. Let me get out of this one. Tim Walz refused Mayor Frey's request. Oh, and then again, this is Chicago Ray. Tim Walz refused Mayor Frey's request for National Guard troops to stop the rioting in Minnesota. That's treason. Then he left his men behind in Iraq. That's stolen valor in my book. J.D. Vance was a Marine who served in Iraq. The choice is easy. So there you go. And this is what they're talking about. The National Guard, Tim Walz left National Guard battalion hanging, slithered out the door before Iraq deployments. According to the veterans have accused Minnesota Governor Tim Walz of embellishing his military career and abandoning his National Guard battalion, highlighting that the now vice presidential pick for the Democrats never served in combat or retired from service. Wait a minute. Didn't he just say in this clip here that the weapons that he used where?
We can make sure that those weapons of war that I carried in war is the only place where those weapons are at.
I carried in war? Weapons of war are the only ones covered by the Second Amendment. Yeah, I know that people had their own cannons and other kinds of shit. People had their own warships. Hello, Justin Wright. What's up? Stop using knives. Yeah, then stop using knives. So, interesting. He left before his battalion got deployed. He retired, so he wouldn't have to go. Iraq is trending again. That's because people are talking about him being, retiring before Iraq was his unit was deployed. Now, that's enough about Tim Walz. One other thing that's annoying me that's trending. And that's Chachi. Chachi is trending. And again, I don't care if your celebrity is on the left or on the right. It doesn't make your points any more valid because you are a celebrity. Now, Scott Baio, I wouldn't say that is he still a celebrity? I mean, everyone knows he played Chachi back in Happy Days. But I'm confused. I'm confused. They brought out Scott Baio on Fox News to talk about Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. What did he say here?
If they do debate, how do you think Trump should handle her?
Why are you asking Scott Baio?
I love Trump. I hope he wins because I believe in the simple things in our country.
Why?
Trump and I'm gonna parrot you, Jesse. Policy.
Yes, that's the only reason I changed my mind about Trump.
There's no making fun of anything.
He's right,
he gives his
but
speeches at these rallies, policy. Period. Once he goes off the rails, it becomes confusing. And I wish I could talk to him and say, just stick to policy because you own every policy that's out there. You own every issue. And he knows that, but he's got to just stick to that.
Okay, well, thank you, Chachi, for letting us know. Even if you're right, I just don't understand why they bring out Scott Baio. It's an easy target for ridicule. Come on, stop doing this shit. All right, and then finally, the main topic of the day, which I'm finally getting to with about 10 minutes left, is Cori Bush. Hold on. First of all, good morning, Roasted Opinions. Welcome to the show. Selected boys in the house. And let's see. I was in the National Guard at the same time as Walz was in the Minnesota National Guard. Both states are in the same division, 34th ID, and often trained together. Never heard anything good about him. Well, yeah. And a lot of his fellow veterans of the military, not of war, but veterans of the military, have been trashing him ever since this pick was made, and including in Minnesota. In fact, if I go back to that topic, I think this is one Alpha News. I'm going to put a link just strictly to this video. Alpha News had this particular video interview, and it'll be in the links today. Alpha News is a Minnesota online news organization. I'll give you a synopsis of what this is. Here's the synopsis. I'll put it in the middle there. Minnesota National Guard leaders exposed Tim Walz for stolen valor, lying about his rank and quitting when his unit was deployed to Iraq. Quote, as soon as the shots were fired in Iraq, he turned and ran the other way and hung his hat up and quit, said Tom Behrens, a retired command sergeant major who replaced Governor Tim Walz on deployment to Iraq. When he was a congressman, he bragged that he was a retired command sergeant major. I'm the highest ranking person ever in the House. And all this lie that he was telling the state of Minnesota came out after 2018. After this was exposed, they said, well, he can say that he served as a command sergeant major, but he can't say he's a retired one because he's not. Just tooting his own horn, hanging on the coattails of people that actually are command sergeant majors who went through all the process and put all the time in. It's stolen valor, really what it is. If he went to Iraq, he'd still be hiding under a desk over there because that's just the cowardice that I saw portrayed with him. So this is someone who was with him in that unit before he retired. All right, let's talk about Cori Bush. Cori Bush, the congresswoman from the squad and St. Louis, Missouri, has lost her primary. Now, so first, Fire Marshal Jamal Bowman and now Cori Bush, two members of the squad, have lost their primaries, and some people are pushing for AOC. Here's the article in the New York Post. Cori Bush loses Missouri Democratic primary race to Wesley Bell in another blow to the far-left squad. Now, I'm just waiting to see how long it takes for Cori Bush to blame the Jews on this, but here we go. Representative Cori Bush was dealt a stunning defeat in Missouri's 1st congressional district primary Tuesday, making her the second member of the far-left squad of congressional lawmakers to lose a 2024 Democratic primary. Bush, Democrat from Missouri, 48, lost her primary race to St. Louis County prosecutor Wesley Bell by 5.3 percentage point margin. The Associated Press called the race at 11 p.m. with Bell leading Bush 51% to 45 after 94% of the votes had been counted. The two-term congresswoman's loss follows the June drubbing of fellow squad member Representative Fire Marshal Jamal Bowman in New York's 16th congressional district primary, which the fire alarm pulling congressman lost to Westchester County Executive George Latimer by nearly 17 points. Bush's race, like Bowman's, pitted her, the far-left Democratic lawmaker, against moderates turned off by her stand on Israel. Now, it's funny because one of the topics on X, the app formerly known as Twitter today, says that AIPAC defeated Cori Bush, again, because some people are blaming it on the Jews. The Missouri Democrat was an early supporter of a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war and has been critical of the Jewish state in the aftermath of the October 7th, 2023 terrorist attack. Bush was one of the only two House lawmakers, along with Representative Rashida Taliban, to vote against a measure in February seeking to ban the Hamas terrorists involved in last October's attack on Israel from ever entering the U.S. Last year, Bush was one of 9 House Democrats opposed to a resolution condemning Hamas for the attack that left 1,200 people dead. She has also accused Israel of conducting an ethnic cleansing campaign in Gaza, characterizing the war effort as collective punishment against Palestinians, which Bush has argued is a war crime. Bell, who had campaigned against this far-left opponent from the center, told the Associated Press that Bush's comments about Israel were wrong and offensive. So she, and it goes on, there's more in the article. Let's see. So here it is. This is a lot of people are blaming AIPAC for that. The 2024 Missouri Democratic primary, Wesley Bell defeated incumbent Cori Bush with a significant financial backing from the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, which reportedly invested approximately $10 million in support of Bell. The election saw a narrow victory margin of 4.3%, sparking a debate about the influence of lobby groups in U.S. politics. Oh no! It only matters when those influence the lobby groups influence elections in the way they don't like it. If if they're a lobbying group that helps them win elections, they love some lobbying groups. So shut up. Hello, Beth Castleman. What's up? It's been a long time. Nice to see you. So there. Yeah, she lost her primary in St. Louis. She is officially a loser. That's Joey Manarino. I don't like Joey Manarino. I think Joey Manarino is he's the Krasenstein of the right. Manarino annoys me just as much as Ed and Brian Krasenstein. But Kimberly Klasek, breaking squad member, Representative Cori Bush, lost her primary. Lots of people are mentioning that she lost her primary. And so other things trending because of that. Wesley Bell is trending. The New York Times simply can't help themselves. Bush lost because she literally failed to pass a single piece of legislation. Not to mention, Wesley Bell spent 6 years as St. Louis County prosecuting attorney. They discredit Bell while martyring Bush. So here it is. This is the New York Times announcement. Breaking news. Representative Cori Bush of Missouri suffered a stinging primary defeat after pro-Israel groups spent millions to oust her. Oh, wait a minute. This is a primary. Isn't she running against... let me think about this. Check the notes. Democrats. She's running against another Democrat. This is a primary. But yeah, apparently AIPAC did spend a lot of money to prop up Wesley Bell. So anyway, now I got to show you. Let me find her part of her acceptance speech, or her concession speech. Oh, by the way, things trending because of Cori Bush's loss. Adios is one, and another one is by Felicia. So, now is this, wait a minute. Wait. We got to see this because, George Santos, I got to tell you, as much as I think George Santos is a bit of a dickhead, he's funny as hell. Here's George Santos saying goodbye to Cori Bush.
I'm not going to be a bad person.
Really?
Bye, Cori. Oh my God, 68 to 33. Humiliating defeat.
Okay, it didn't end up that way. That was early returns, but she ended up only losing by like 5 or 6%. But still,
how I like to see it. Humiliation for Cori and for Jamal. Who's next? 2026. Squad, watch out. We're coming to get ya. Bye.
All right. So anyway, George Santos, the worst Republican on the planet, puts in his 2 cents. I do want to show you a little bit of her. Well, there's a clip of her concession speech that people are sharing quite a bit because it draws a little bit of concern. If you want to see the entire 18 minutes, I'll put a link to that too. I'm sure you're just dying to watch Cori Bush speak for 18 minutes, but there's an interesting little tidbit that a lot of people are sharing about her concession speech. Where is it? Let me find it. Let's see. Let me go back here. Here he goes. We're gonna watch about 2 minutes of her concession speech because this is fascinating. This is fascinating. This is amazing because let's just say she's not taking it well. Here it is.
Pulling me away.
Yes, it's only in your right speaker right now, or if you're watching our earpiece or whatever.
From my position as.
Hold on. What did she say? Pulling me away from my position.
Pulling me away from my position as Congresswoman.
Oh, you blown that?
All you did was take some of the strings off.
Oh, so she's going to be... Uh-oh.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Let's be clear.
Let's be clear.
Let's be clear.
Are we going to be clear?
Let's be clear.
No, are you clear?
Let's be clear. Let's be clear.
Okay.
Let's be clear. Let's talk about what it really is. Because see, now I don't have to worry about some strings that I have attached, and as much as I love my job. But all they did was radicalize me, and so now they...
Wait. So you weren't... you were... Wait, what did Johnny do? What did Johnny do? Anyway. It's gonna radicalize her? You mean she wasn't radical already? She wasn't radical already? Come on now. Come on. What? You weren't.
Come on, man.
You weren't what?
Hey.
Now she's a radical? I'm afraid. What the hell she called that other shit before?
See, now they about to see this other Cori, this other side. Cause let me say this.
You're gonna start. You're gonna get people to riot for you?
I just grew up a whole lot more over the last few weeks. Just grew up a whole different way, and so what they are about to get.
With no power now.
So the thing is this. The thing is this. I don't think that anything. There is nothing that happens in my life that happens in vain. So if this happened, it's because it was meant to happen. And let me say.
Yeah, because people don't want you in there as their representative.
The work that I need to do, and let me say this.
What are you gonna say? Just say it.
AIPAC, I'm coming to tear your kingdom down.
Oh, it's the Jews' fault. So anyway, and yes, AIPAC was very instrumental in saying bye, bye, bye. By the way, is anyone else sick of hearing that song all over the place right now? Because of Deadpool, Wolverine, whatever, that NSYNC song. Because I kind of liked that song when it was out. But my God, when you scroll on Instagram or if you scroll X videos or whatever, like every third video has a clip of someone doing that, NSYNC dance shit. So anyway, first Jamal, now Cori. She's gone. But yeah, so Bye Felicia and Adios are trending because of that. And if you, like I said, if you want to watch her entire concession speech, it's 18 minutes. It's like 19 minutes long. Holy shit. Do you think you can get through 19 minutes of that? I know I can't. All right, finally, Frank Luntz is the final thing trending. Frank Luntz, the pollster for, someone says he's a Republican pollster. He's not a Republican pollster, is he? Frank Luntz? Anyway, pollster Frank Luntz says Kamala Harris is now the front runner in the election, says he would have picked Josh Shapiro over Tim Walz. So here's Frank Luntz, I don't know if he's a Republican pollster, but here's Frank Luntz talking about that.
Why do you think she picked him?
Why?
He's a safe choice. If I was in her situation, I would have gone with the governor of Pennsylvania because he definitely brings the state, and Pennsylvania is the largest of all the swing states that are out there.
And
provided more electoral votes. But let me emphasize, I do believe, and I understand the importance of what I'm about to say.
Okay, before he even says it, remember, this is new, this is fresh, this is Democrats excited that Joe Biden's no longer the nominee. So there is a grace period, a period of euphoria, a period of, yes, we got something new and different. Again, we must burden her with what has been, so we do not find out what can be. We must make sure that all of this, the bluster about her being such a happy-go-lucky and blah, 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 blah. Policy. I'm going to agree with Chachi about that. You got to make it about policy, and policy she has supported, and certainly policies Governor Walz has signed that make the weird label resonate. Not with the people they are calling weird, but the fact that they are weird people and fail people. Anyway, what do you got to say, Frank?
That Vice President Harris is now the front runner in this race. I know that Trump people, their minds will explode, but Harris has got the intensity. She's got momentum. She's bringing people back into the political fold that had left when Joe Biden was going to be the candidate.
You mean when they were lying about Joe Biden? All these for 4 years claiming that he actually was doing something and was in charge. And, he was, what was the word? He's sharp. Yeah, you've been lying about Joe Biden being sharp all this time. I want you to reconcile that sometime during this campaign, please. Because you've been lying about this and you're still lying. In fact, we have no idea who's running the country, I shouldn't say running the country because the bureaucrats and agencies are running the country. But I want to know, does anyone know what Joe Biden's been doing the last week? Anything about what he's doing? And I want to know who's the acting president. Who is the committee that's the acting president? Because it sure ain't Joe Biden. It's president by committee and speech writers and puppet masters. And I want to know why Kamala Harris lied for 4 years about Joe Biden being sharp. Just curious. But it doesn't surprise me at all that she's gotten this bump, so to speak. She's improved on Biden's his status as a presidential candidate slightly. And she is, polls right now, oh, they're doing exciting, and she's so happy, and Governor Walz looks like a nice farm guy, blah, blah, blah. That's why they need to burden her by what has been. Everything she's done, everything she said, everything she believes, that she's a California Democrat through and through, and Tim Walz is just another, going to pull the same progressive line as Kamala Harris, the most liberal senator in the United States Senate when she was there, left of Bernie Sanders. Please. Here we go.
That Donald Trump has made a series of misstatements, that his vice presidential choice has not done well. And Tim Walz is a good speaker, very presentable, knows the issues, and mirrors her point of view. I still would not have
California.
Done that because the goal right now is to win those states that matter the most, because we're not a simple national democracy.
Here's the other problem, too. Tim Walz helps in Minnesota, in theory. No, it will because some people are dumb. Oh, he's from Minnesota. Well, I'm going to vote for the Minnesotan. And that's kind of how it works here. But remember, the Minnesotans on national tickets have never done very well. Usually landslide the other way. So that's great. You can help win Minnesota, but you need Pennsylvania. You'd have gotten Minnesota anyway. You need Pennsylvania, but oh gosh, we can't have the Jew on the ticket. That may or may not have been the reasoning. I'm sure they were getting pushback when that stupid ad from the mayor of Philadelphia came out that said, "Oh yes, we're so proud of our governor, the vice presidential candidate." Oops. Oh, we announced it in Pennsylvania because it was going to be Josh Shapiro. Oops. Oh, somebody got some phone calls. Someone in that campaign got phone calls. If you pick that Jew, we are going to protest your entire candidacy. I can't wait for the Democratic National Convention. I'm telling you, it's going to be interesting. But in fact, well, there's other people saying that. Even Van Jones was talking about how the anti-Semitism has been bubbling through the Democratic Party. It's like, damn, that's bold. He certainly pissed a lot of people off when he said that. But, Josh Shapiro would have been good for them. I think not so much for us who do not want this ticket anywhere near the White House. But I don't know. Tim Walz has enough baggage because other thing, Shapiro hasn't signed a bunch of crazy legislation in Pennsylvania either. So he could play himself off as a moderate. You try to paint Tim Walz as a moderate, all you got to do is put a list of the types of shit he's passed and signed in Minnesota. I think that's a problem, a slight problem for the ticket as soon as people start finding out what has been. And we want you to be burdened by what has been.
You have to win the Electoral College, as was shown in 2016. But the combination of her being a front runner and Walz being a good speaker, she's got the wind at her back, and she hasn't even gone through the 4 days of the convention yet.
She hasn't stated a policy yet. All she's done is smiled and made fun of the other ticket. She hasn't named a single policy yet. Oh, maybe abortion, which is their number one issue. But boy, let's get on immigration, because Walz wanted to make Minnesota a sanctuary state.
Frank, can I just interrupt you to ask you, is that a hunch, or are you basing that on polling, the fact that she is, you believe, the front runner? It's the first time you're saying that, is it?
Yes, and there's so many polls that are now available, as well as our focus groups. And we did a session, I don't know if you're going to show it, but you have a focus group that we sent to you of voters who are not voting for Joe Biden, but are now voting for Kamala Harris. And they do.
Apparently Frank is a racist. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? Did you hear Frank? Frank is a racist. How do I know?
Voting for Joe Biden, but are now voting for Kamala Harris.
What? You can't pronounce her name right?
And they do so for two reasons. Number one, it was a vote against Biden about his age, and they thought that he couldn't do the job. But
no, it wasn't about his age. It's about his decrepitness. That's what it was about. It has nothing to do with his age. It was about his decrepitness. That's my favorite word now.
Two, they thought that Harris is exciting, energizing, compelling, and she's talking more about the stuff that she will do.
No,
and
she's
Donald
not.
Trump has fallen back into the old attacks.
She's not talking
and the
about
old
it.
viciousness. This is Trump's election to lose, based on the public's belief that his administration has been better, or was better, than the Biden-Harris administration. But he's losing it with speeches that have the same sort of ad hominem attacks to a public that has had enough and wants to look for something.
Yes, see, so saying that J.D. Vance fucking a couch is not an ad hominem attack. Gee, that's rich.
Different, something new, something focused on the future.
All right, but look, I don't disagree with Frank Luntz right there either. He's probably right. This momentum from the start of this and the positivity of the campaign and whatever, that's why, again, as Chachi said, which I was saying last week, long before Chachi even got on Fox News, policy. Don't get caught up in the weeds of the other bullshit. All right, I got to go. I got things in here. But here's some articles that are out there. Here is one example. In the Washington Free Beacon, Vice President pick Walz pushed to close Gitmo and house terrorists in the U.S. as a congressman. Yeah, that was a popular thing, so you want to talk about that. Also in legal insurrection. Van Jones. Harris appeases anti-Jewish Democrats by picking Walz. That's not something you want to hear at all. Here it is.
Do you think it was a little risky, though, Van, that she didn't go with Shapiro to kind of lock down Pennsylvania? I mean, yes, David Challing was saying earlier, just because you pick him as your running mate doesn't mean you automatically win Pennsylvania. But I got to think it would have helped just a little bit.
Hey, listen, the conservatives, the right wing,
This
the
is gonna
Republicans,
piss
they were
people
chewing their
off.
fingernails down to the knuckle because they were afraid of a Josh Shapiro. They were afraid of a Mark Kelly. They're not as afraid of this new governor because they think they can define him.
They don't have to define him. All they got to do is show his record. That's all they got to do. Show his record. That you don't have to define Tim Walz.
But so here's the challenge you've got in this party, and people don't want to talk about it. We got to talk about it. On the one hand, you have a lot of young people who are concerned about Gaza. You have a lot of Muslims and Arabs and others. They have not felt seen by the Biden administration. You start hearing that genocide joke. That was building.
Ding.
And so those folks needed to have a candidate that they could feel comfortable with. This helps them in that regard. But you also have
Can't have that Jew
anti-Semitism that's gotten marbled into this party. You can be for the Palestinians without being an anti-Jewish bigot, but there are some anti-Jewish bigots out there, and there's some disquiet now, and there has to be.
I'm looking at Acosta. Acosta usually sometimes smiles when he agrees with things, but he is concentrating hard right now because he's like, oh shit, what did Van just say? You can't say that on CNN. You cannot even say anything negative about Democrats.
Of what just happened is caving into some of these darker parts in the party. So that's going to have to get worked out. It's going to have to get talked through.
It's funny when Van gets out there and tells the truth sometimes, and it doesn't it doesn't work. It does not work. Justin Rice headed to Columbus, Minnesota for a final John Deere delivery. Oh my, I don't even know where Columbus, Minnesota is. I'll have to look that up. All right, other headlines in Breitbart. Watch, Tim Walz, I'll invest in a ladder factory to help illegal climb the border wall. That was back when he was a congressman too. I mean, he wants the illegals in the United States. It's amazing. In Daily Caller, Harris released illegal immigrant charged with unlicensed driving in San Francisco as a DA, and he killed somebody shortly after. So this has gone back to when she was Attorney General, or excuse me, the San Francisco District Attorney back in the day. That's like 25 years ago. That was in 2010. Excuse me. Dropped the charges against Robert Gallo in June 2010 after he was stopped by police for driving in the wrong way down a one-way road and arrested for operating a vehicle without a license. But he was an illegal immigrant, and she just said, fuck it. You are brown. You are allowed to go. And then he went and killed somebody. Legal insurrection. Tim Walz's wife kept windows open during the BLM riots so she could smell the burning tires. If you haven't seen this interview, it's just weird. But again, she's not the vice presidential candidate. He is. But the other part of this story that may be more significant is that his daughter was participating in these Black Lives Matter riot, or the protest and riots. And she was coordinating with the rioters and letting them know that the National Guard would not be activated that night. Like her dad was sharing information with her, and she was sharing it with the people who are. She was sharing with the people who were out there protesting and rioting, so that they're not coming tonight. We can go and burn some more shit down. You know what I mean? I mean, like, this is crazy. Oh, Columbus is. What is it? 20 minutes north on I-35. Oh, right there. That's where there's that, I think it's Love's truck stop is in Columbus, where they always advertise gas. It's always like Sam's Club price, but then you actually go there and you realize it's E15, like 15% alcohol. You can only use it in flex fuel vehicles. And because I used to drive by there all the time, I'm like, oh, their gas price is cheap as Sam's Club. So one time I stopped and I'm like, oh, that's why they're using a cheaper blend. But anyway, yes, I know where Columbus is. That's cool. Okay, good for you, man. In the New York Post, Kamala's First Amendment threats as Cali Attorney General reveal her ruthless politics. Kamala Harris has made the Supreme Court a prime target of her presidential campaign. For her, the court's Dobbs abortion ruling is a menacing threat, a national movement afoot to attack hard-won and hard-fought freedoms. Yet her record as California Attorney General suggests she'd be willing to roll back important freedoms, including the First Amendment-based expectation that we can express our opinions without being intimidated into silence if our views are unpopular. She made clear a decade ago that when she targeted Americans for Prosperity, a free market-oriented nonprofit supported by libertarian Charles and David Koch. Her interpretation of the laws was so extreme that, incredibly, the Kochs were joined in their legal defense by two liberal bastions, the American Civil Liberties Union and the NAACP. Harris, in other words, was too far left for the left. So, yeah, she went after them, and then she had the ACLU and the NAACP on the same side as the Koch brothers. That's how left-wing lunatic she is. You can read that one in the New York Post. Breitbart, Kamala Harris, VP pick Tim Walz, supports phasing out fossil fuels. Yes, they've done that same. They look, I can tell you what. Name a shitty law in California, and Tim Walz has either signed it or is prepared to sign it. The same type of law in Minnesota. Just that's all you got to know about Tim Walz. He's California light or California wannabe. Tell me what you want, but you really, really want. I'm gonna tell you what I want, but I really, really want. I wanna, whatever. So, anyway, National Pulse, Kamala running mate Tim Walz set up COVID snitch line in Minnesota. Yes, that's another thing you did during COVID. They literally had a hotline you could call if your neighbors had a decide to have a party in their backyard, a barbecue in your backyard, and had more than 10 people, or if you were not wearing a mask when you were pumping gas, whatever, they had a snitch line in Minnesota where you could report on people and they could send the government out to go get you. That's Tim Walz for you. Breitbart, Kamala Harris, Tim Walz push to ban AR-15 in first joint campaign appearance. That was their part of their speech. They want to ban those weapons of war that Tim Walz used when he was in war. That's a Breitbart. Daily Caller. Audit. There was an audit too in Minnesota that found that Tim Walz's administration overlooked a $250 million fraud scheme. Now that was big news here in Minnesota. Lack of oversight for Democratic Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota's administration contributed to the theft of $250 million from a federal food aid program, according to an audit published by the Office of the Legislative Auditor for the state of Minnesota in June. The scheme participants allegedly doctored invoices for millions of meals for children, ultimately siphoning off more than $250 million in federal funds. So that's a scandal that, again, he must be burdened by what has been. Breitbart, only 17% of Americans view radical left Tim Walz positively. Now, this is a little too soon for this poll. My guess is people have no idea who the hell he is. But according to an NPR PBS News Marist poll on Tuesday, less than a quarter of Americans view Democratic Minnesota Governor Tim Walz positively. The vice president's selection of Walz as a running mate indicates that she allied herself with the most far-left choice among those in her short list. So that'll change because the media will certainly try to whitewash Walz's record, at least for a while. They'll keep it all positive until they as much as they can to try to raise up his favorability rating. Again, people don't necessarily vote for the vice president, but it will be a great window into her psyche when choosing him. Other articles, just the headlines. Tim Walz embellished his military record and abandoned his battalion. We already talked about that. Report, Harris campaign worries that asshole Pennsylvanians are unhappy about the wall pick. Now, this is not something you want out there. Harris campaign staffer I just talked to, quote, relieved the decision is in. Now just worried about what happens later today in Philly on Shapiro's home turf. Is some asshole gonna boo? They were worried about assholes in the audience. Okay, so legal insurrection. Vance on Walz. He just highlights how radical Kamala Harris is. That's exactly it. People don't vote for the vice president, but if she picks a radical left loony, that is going to be a reflection upon her. Daily Caller, you don't see that. An MSNBC data guru also delivers a brutal reality check to Dems after Walz's pick. Well, this is just showing how Minnesota looks as far as his popularity in Minnesota. But again, if you look at this map that they're showing, I don't know if you can see that very well. Here, let's make that up a little bigger. As you look at this map, yeah, but that's just land. That's not people. Okay, so you can see obviously the Twin City ring of suburbs, all blue, and this Duluth and North, all blue. Although I've driven up this highway, goes right up here up to Canada, to the border. In Duluth, yeah, it's all Democrat, all DFL, all Tim Walz. You get past, say, I don't remember the name of the town. Two Harbors. If you get past Two Harbors, every political sign you see from Duluth to the border is Trump. I'm just sorry. They may have won that section, but I'm wondering how, because it's crazy. Oh, and this area down here, this blue area down at the bottom here, that's Mankato. Oh, you can't even see my pointer here. But anyway, MSNBC data reporter Steve Konarski said Tuesday that Democratic Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota may not be able to move the needle in key states as the party's vice presidential nominee. And then he's talking about what happened in Minnesota. So you can watch that here. I got to go. So I got a couple other articles and links, but that's it for today, guys. Thank you for joining me today. Why did that happen there? Thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. I'm here Monday to Friday. Thanks to our sponsors, AD and JB and Cryptic. Is that right? Yes, thank you, sponsors today. I'll be back tomorrow for FTG Thursday. There's plenty of FTGs to go around. That's it. I don't have anything else. All the articles are in the links. They'll be in the chat and in the description down below. I got to go. My name's P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Here come the links. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.